For 4 or 5 years I worked with a home movie camera, a Super 8 camera, before starting the bigger film. What happened was that I was painting still and doing the theatre designs, and I had done Russell's Devils by that time. And someone came to the studio with literally a home movie camera. I said, that's an interesting thing. Would you like to borrow it? So I said, yes, I would. And I made a 3-minute film of the studio. This is 1970. And I started to make these films, and it was a really amusing thing to do because everyone came to watch them. So I used to be able to give these parties, wonderful parties, and everyone would come and no one paid any attention to the films whatsoever. They were all there, all bought cushions and lay on the floor. And we showed a proper film, 16mm, something, proper feature film, and then we would end up with the Super 8s. In a way, I think they're the centre of my filmmaking. I find them, for myself, obviously, as interesting, perhaps more interesting, than the feature films, because they deal more directly with my experience in a way. It's, of course, always very difficult to convince people of that. I've carried on making films like this. I still make them. I think it's important for any filmmaker to keep his centre or her centre. In a sense, I always felt that my role was to find family within the films, that we found community within the filmmaking, and that I tried to make a situation where everyone could come together for a few weeks and find something to work on which opened up avenues of different sorts for themselves, and that was the real purpose of filmmaking, was to create community. And this is one of the reasons why it's been difficult for me to join in the commercial or even television-oriented cinema that we live in now, where people are actually sort of employed for jobs. It never struck me as the right way. People should come to things because they want to make them. It's very, very difficult with a very low budget to break into the commercial world. I prefer not to make films than make films I don't want to make. I mean, if you're working outside the television companies, it's almost impossible to get your material shown. It's not like Germany, where they're working with independent film directors like Fassbinder and people like this. Here, it's almost impossible. I mean, one's not been welcomed to show one's films on the television. For all our liberalism and everything, that it's an extremely narrow-minded age, and if you were to just step out of this country into another culture, you would find that perhaps the culture we live in is as mad as the Ayatollah, for instance, seems to us in Iran. If, at the end of the film, all the people who make it say, I really enjoyed making that film and I really liked the film, or I don't agree with this bit, but on the whole I think it was enhancing, then the film has worked. And that's what I try and do.